Autism? Should you be worried? All right, let's talk about something important. Autism. Maybe you've been wondering, do I have autism? Or is it something I should be afraid of? First off, let's clear something up. Autism is not a disease, and it's definitely not something to be scared of. But because there's so much misinformation out there, it's important to separate fact from fiction. 1. What exactly is autism? Autism, or autism spectrum disorder, ASD, isn't a single condition. It's a spectrum. That means different people experience it in different ways. Some might struggle with social interactions, while others have unique ways of thinking, learning, or processing emotions. Some people with autism might find loud noises overwhelming or have a hard time understanding sarcasm, while others could be incredibly gifted in specific areas like math, art, or music. So if you're thinking, could I be autistic? It's important to know that autism isn't a one-size-fits-all label. It's not about being broken, it's just about experiencing the world differently. 2. Should you be scared of autism? Here's the short answer. No, absolutely not. Autism isn't something to fear, but it is something to understand. The real challenge isn't autism itself, it's how society treats people who are different. Unfortunately, because many people don't understand autism, they assume it's a problem that needs to be fixed. But history tells a different story. Some of the greatest minds of all time, Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, even Elon Musk, are believed to have had traits associated with autism. The ability to think differently is often what leads to groundbreaking discoveries and innovations. However, that doesn't mean there aren't challenges. Some people on the spectrum may find social situations confusing, struggle with communication, or feel overwhelmed in certain environments. But with the right support and understanding, these challenges can be managed, just like anyone else dealing with their own personal obstacles in life. 3. How can you tell if you might be autistic? If you're questioning whether you could be on the autism spectrum, here are some signs that might resonate with you. Social interactions feel confusing or exhausting. You might not always pick up on social cues or understand what people expect from you in conversations. You have intense interests. You might get super focused on certain topics and want to learn everything about them. Routine is important to you. Unexpected changes can feel overwhelming or stressful. Sensory experiences hit differently. Loud noises, bright lights, or certain textures might feel unbearable, while other sensations might be oddly comforting. You find it easier to communicate in different ways. Maybe texting feels way easier than face-to-face conversations. But here's the thing, just because you relate to some of these doesn't mean you definitely have autism. Many people share these traits without being on the spectrum. The best way to know for sure? Talk to a professional. A psychologist or a doctor specializing in neurodevelopmental conditions can help you understand yourself better. 4. Why autism awareness matters. A lot of fear around autism comes from misunderstanding, but when people take the time to learn about it, that fear disappears. Instead of thinking of autism as something wrong, we should see it for what it really is, a different way of experiencing the world. Autistic people aren't broken. They don't need to be fixed. What they do need is acceptance, understanding, and the right environment to thrive. Debunking myths about autism and how to navigate life on the spectrum. Now that we've covered what autism actually is, let's tackle some of the biggest misconceptions about it. Because let's be honest, most of what people think they know about autism comes from movies, outdated stereotypes, or just straight-up misinformation. 1. Myth number 1. Autistic people don't feel emotions. One of the biggest myths is that autistic people don't experience emotions or empathy. That couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, many people on the spectrum feel emotions just as deeply, if not more so, than neurotypical people. The difference? They might express emotions in a way that others don't immediately recognize. For example, instead of reacting to a sad situation with tears, someone with autism might withdraw or go quiet. It's not that they don't care, it's just that their way of processing emotions is different. Another thing to note, many autistic individuals feel overwhelmed by emotions, which can lead to what's known as meltdowns or shutdowns. It's not about a lack of feeling, it's about feeling too much at once. Myth number 2, All autistic people are either geniuses or can't function. Thanks, Hollywood, for creating two extreme versions of autism. The socially awkward genius, think the Big Bang Theory's Sheldon, and the nonverbal character who can't live independently. The reality? Autism is a spectrum, meaning it varies from person to person. Some autistic people have exceptional talents, whether it's music, memory, or logical thinking. Others struggle with daily tasks and need more support. Most people fall somewhere in between. There's no one autistic type. It's also important to remember that intelligence isn't the same as communication ability. Some autistic individuals may have difficulty with verbal expression, but still have deep thoughts, emotions, and incredible insights. Myth number 3, autism can be cured. Let's clear this up. Autism isn't a disease. It's not something that needs to be cured. It's a neurological difference, meaning autistic brains are wired differently from neurotypical ones. What does help autistic individuals thrive isn't a cure, but the right support, understanding, and accommodations. This can mean therapy and coaching to develop social or communication skills, sensory-friendly environments to reduce stress from loud noises or bright lights, routine and structure to create a sense of stability, self-acceptance, because being autistic isn't a flaw, it's just a different way of experiencing the world. 4, navigating life, if you're autistic, or think you might be. If you've recognized yourself in some of the traits we talked about and think you might be on the spectrum, what should you do next? Get a professional assessment. If you want clarity, seeing a psychologist or doctor who specializes in autism can help. Whether or not you get an official diagnosis, understanding yourself is always valuable. Find your support system. Surround yourself with people who accept and understand you. This could be family, friends, online communities, or even support groups for neurodivergent individuals. Embrace your strengths. Being autistic isn't a weakness. It comes with strengths like deep focus, creativity, and unique perspectives. The key is to find environments where those strengths are appreciated. Set boundaries and take care of your mental health. Sensory overload and social exhaustion are real. It's okay to take breaks, say no to situations that drain you, and prioritize what makes you feel comfortable. Educate others. The more people understand autism, the less stigma there will be. Don't be afraid to share your experiences or correct misconceptions when you see them. Final thoughts. Autism isn't a limitation. It's just a different path. So is autism something to fear? No. But is it something to understand? Absolutely. The more we talk about autism, the more we break down the barriers that hold people back. If you're autistic, know this: you are not broken. You are not alone. The world may not always understand, but that doesn't mean you don't have a place in it.